We are happy to announce that this episode of the SW Show is partially brought to you by Humble Bundle. Well, not really. We are part of the Humble Bundle referral program, and we just wanted to say that if you like really cheap games and maybe helping charity pending the Humble thing going on, all you have to do is go to humblebundle.com/question mark partner equals SWW. That's right, humblebundle.com/question mark partner equals SWW. And you just do your normal stuff, and it just kind of helps us get a couple bucks here and there. Maybe it helps AJ get his lights, maybe it's Mike camera, maybe we actually pay Corey for helping us out. But again, if you're going to go buy games anyway, it might be worth checking out.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the movie club, which might be the oldest combined cast, even though there were only four main characters.
First off, Tom Brady is not that old, okay? He is still in his prime. He could still unretire. I don't know what the fuck you were talking
about. He's what, 45, 46?
No. Considering I have, like, his Wikipedia, ironically, is one of my tabs. I can tell you in 2 seconds. 45. Tom Brady was born August 3rd, 1977 in San Mateo, California, U.S.
So he would be 46 if he were to come back and play another year. Like, because his birthday is before the season, I guess, technically starts.
So I don't know if we're introduced. We're here to talk about 80 for Brady. It's spoilers galore. Good luck to everyone.
I mean, it's kind of hard because, like, this is a movie that's coming out in 23 about events that happened in 17 or 18.
Spoiler alert, we know who wins Super Bowl.
Yeah.
I'm curious though, is there any world where Tom Brady unretired last year to give this movie more box office results?
Honestly, I think this film, I'm not saying he did it purposely to help with the promotion of this film.
Mm-hmm.
Because last year in 22, when he quote-unquote retired, it was the exact same day that he announced his most recent retirement.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it was, this is for
promotion. He does it right before the Super Bowl, right? That's what he does.
Yeah, he waited until the teams had been announced for the Super Bowl.
So that's not the whole story, but yeah. Which well, that's the last one, sports talk. But, like, I think that's a valid way for him to do it. Like, he knows he's a story, so he tries to at least let the teams both have their moment.
Yeah. I mean, the way that he kind of disrespected the whole situation last year was unfortunate, but also his most recent retirement is the perfect, like, it's this or he knows his reputation is ruined. Because you watch that video and he's like, you only get one sappy retirement, and I used that up last year. Meanwhile, he's recording this on his phone on the beach somewhere.
Not somewhere. People found the exact spot.
I know people found it, but I'm just saying somewhere. I couldn't remember where exactly it was. Yeah, so...
But yeah, let me do the whole spiel to get some people who don't know. The film we're talking about today is 80 for Brady. It came out here in the U.S. By Paramount on February 3rd, 2023. It's directed by Kyle Marvin, who I didn't find any thing on. He has a producer and some stuff. He seems to be very much of an indie kind of guy. Yeah, it's. I'm trying to think what else. It looks like it might putz its way to breaking even. It had a budget of $28 million. Currently, the box office is around $33-ish million. We don't. I think I don't know if that includes this weekend's numbers, but like this film, like at least probably won't lose money or won't lose that much money for Paramount, but that's kind of it. Let's talk about it. AJ, we kind of both kind of alluded to this as we get started. Is it fair to say neither of us really liked this film?
I mean, there's very little in this film that's like abhorrently bad. It's just this film was more suitable to be on Lifetime than in a movie theater.
It is, to be fair, I think pretty much going straight to Paramount Plus. Like it very much feels like a Paramount Plus film that they're like, let's make some money on.
I mean, it feels like a Lifetime movie. It doesn't even feel like a, with Paramount in their more traditional style, like the films that they make, even for stuff that goes directly to Paramount Plus, feels like a movie, right? It doesn't feel like a Lifetime movie, like made for TV movie.
Mm-hmm.
This film had so many staples of the Lifetime or
Yeah,
what are some of the other like
Hallmark,
yeah Hallmark
like those.
yeah
I do want to give a moment to like be like, this is a legitimate cast for the film. It's just when you put them all together, somehow it cheapens it. So it stars Lily Tomlin, which is she's been in a bunch of stuff. You recognize her: Jane Fonda, Rita Moreno, and Sally
Field
Field.
yeah.
Like this is on paper. Like so it's like me and you probably have the reverence for them just because I think we're kind of out of that era. But like these are like for sure like respectable actresses who have done stuff that people like that's been box office successes. I think though somehow when you combine all four of them, you just somehow know it's going to be a budget film, which is really funny considering like who these people are.
I mean, Jane Fonda and Sally Field will go down as two of the greatest female actresses of all time. It's
And I think
hard to deny
the
that.
right, and the other two, like it's not like I don't think any of these people are like people who like you like people know who everyone in this film is. Like,
Yeah. I mean, let me just scroll to Jane Fonda's bottom. 1960 was her first film. She's been active for, what is that, 72 years, 73 years.
mm-hmm.
Or no, 60. 60 years. She has
That's a
been in
long
some
time.
of the biggest things. Like, you know, she was in 9 to 5, which I know people will kind of shit on that, but that was a huge movie. Like, and it's still on TV, I think. We go back even further, like Any Wednesday, The Chase, Sunday in New York, Fun, the original Fun with Dick and Jane. Like Jane Fonda is legit. Sally
Or, hey,
Field,
hey, hey!
Sally Field
I
will
just
be
want to
in
point
more
out.
stuff that people will know. Like she was in Smoking the Bandit. Um, what else? Yeah, like she did some voices for Homeward Bound.
Yeah, it's funny. Like these are totally actresses that like it's easier to say you know them than top of your head to tell people you know them.
Yeah, I mean, like Barbarella would probably be one of Jane Fonda's biggest films ever,
Mm-hmm.
right? And that was made in 1968. But she's been an icon that entire time.
Wait.
So, it's not like it's the biggest gap. The biggest gap that she has is 90 to '05. But otherwise, she's been consistent.
So I gotta ask, kind of. So obviously, I think I've heard of this film, kind of rumblings for a bit, but it's not been a thing Tommy were talking about. Is there any spot going into this film that you thought there was a chance it could be good?
I mean, I was very complacent with the idea, right? Like because I knew of the original, like the original story that this movie was based on. Um, I'd heard about it around the 2017 Super Bowl. I guess a little bit afterwards, but so I was I wasn't really thinking that it was gonna be great. I'll put it that way.
Yeah, but I at least thought there could have been a world where this film could be entertaining, and I think that's part of it. Like sure, I'm not saying it'd be like the best film ever, but like we've gotten to a point in Hollywood where they understand at least how to make biopics entertaining, even if they're not accurate. And then to me, I almost thought that like especially with this cast and especially see, it's interesting too of like if Tom Brady like made this announcement like a week earlier and they could have done it at the same time the film came out, I almost think that would have helped them. But like Tom Brady is still Tom Brady. Like these are household names enough that like Hollywood's gotten better at like trying to understand the stuff and like giving us this content better than like they would have like 20 years ago. And that's where I thought there was a world this could have been good.
I I don't know, like the fact that you were trying to retell a story that I mean, on the surface there's really not much to it, right? Like it's a group of four women made it to the Super Bowl. And it was just like I was reading the story originally and I'm like, okay, you know, they might do like a TV thing for this, right? Like, not necessarily a TV movie, but maybe like a potentially even like a 30 for 30, which
Mm.
it admittedly, if this story was turned into a 30 for 30, it would be way better. Like it just feels like making this a movie for distribution took kind of the wind out of its sails in terms of any desire or any potential of it being high quality.
I
Not
get through
bad,
that.
right? Like not bad. Just like the
Like,
quality level, it just felt like because they were going to make it a movie, there just was a ceiling that it couldn't breach because it was going to have to sell to everyone, right? Like this film felt like it needed to go one of two ways and it didn't. It either needed to just lean into the whole um, absurdity of the situation, which it kind of did.
yeah. It
Like,
kind of did like for how many celebrities are in this and stuff like it kind of understood the absurdity.
yeah, like it either needed to go full, just full absurdity, and the Super Bowl is just kind of a thing.
Yeah, like hear me out. It needed to double its cameo budget and like get us like get us like do nuds and jobs of like people from like the actual actresses past or whatever. Kind of like make it an inside joke, but it still kind of uses the story as the like vehicle for it.
Yeah, but then, or it could have gone, you know, full ESPN, the sport side of it, which admittedly is probably the better way to tell the story, um, because let's be real. That Super Bowl between the Patriots and the Falcons is regarded as one of the best Super Bowls of all time.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, it was the first to ever reach overtime. That game alone should have, and it does to a certain extent, that should have documentaries out the wazoo about it. You know, like the absurdity of that game and the failing on the Falcons' part to maintain the lead. Right? Like they had, it was 23-8 with like 8.5 minutes to go in the third.
Mm-hmm.
So they had just under 19 minutes of game time that they needed to burn. And they failed in every sense of the word. To the point where they didn't score another point. That part of the game, right, like that absurdity was not covered in the movie. It was only referenced that, like, oh, they were down big.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't like, you know, the insanity of the comeback was not covered that well.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah, and it gets weird because when you have a film like I kind of like the idea of these films that's like about an event but not really. Like it's kind of like the event is just the background of it. But there is a validity to say kind of like it needs to still kind of explain that event better or why that event matters, right? Like, especially it being a Super Bowl that like really did go down as one of the best history. It's not like just like there's some years where it's like a throwaway Super Bowl kind of stuff where like that one is one people point to, and that deserves a validity of like extra than why are we telling this story because we could find a similar story any year.
I mean, you want the perfect example of how to handle that situation, right? Look at Zero Dark 30. And this is, I know you think I'm sounding like a madman right now.
Really? Let's compare. Oh, like
Well,
I like this. They're going to
excuse me.
war. These girls are going to war.
No, that film ties the terrorist attacks directly to segments of the film,
Mm-hmm.
right? Eras that are covered throughout Zero Dark 30. The stuff that happens in the quote unquote real world is incidental to the plot of the film, but it helps you kind of figure out where you're at. It's like, okay, this happened, this happened. You know, it's leading the plot of the film to a certain point. It just felt like this film needed that more. Like they needed to do something, either cut the front, you know, find a way to cut a lot of that unnecessary stuff out in the front to extend the time at the game, or extend the runtime of the film. You know, the problem is I don't think you can make it much more than 2 hours because this is a film clearly marketed towards old people. Right.
And that's valid, but there's still, I think, I don't want to. I'm never going to sit here and be like it's for old people, so the film could be worse too. Like,
Well, no, that's not what I was getting at. It was, you know, the old generation and the younger generation have the exact same problem, right? Their attention span is way too short for long films,
mm-hmm.
which is what worries me about John Wick, but we'll talk about that later. So you just can't make films that long for either group, right? So if 2 limits is kind of your hard limit, or 2 hours is your hard limit, right? you got to figure out how to tell the story better because this story has the drama of what happened in real life is way more dramatic than anything they could ever write up. So use that. And it just felt like they didn't use that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it felt like they tried way too hard to be like, oh, well, we got to figure out a way to, you know, they got scammed for their tickets. So we got to figure out a way to, like, you know, absurdity their way into the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and it just felt like every time it was like, okay, we don't need this. We really don't need this. Like, it was just one thing after another, right? It was the hot sauce the hot sauce competition. Then it was the dancers. Then it was, you know, the party. The party was before the dancers, but you know, just like so many different things that were like, oh well, we need to make it seem like there might be a way, but then not. There might be a way, but then
Mm-hmm.
not. And it's just like I was sitting there. Granted, I was probably um, 40
How many beers
years
deep?
40 years younger than anyone else in the theater when I saw this film.
I also explain this. So you saw the movie in Massachusetts, right?
Yes. Yeah.
How different kind of was that kind of? Because I'm just curious because obviously, like you usually see theaters, always are local theaters. Like,
Yeah.
was the
Okay.
crowd different than you would see kind of in Western Michigan?
So the experience behind seeing this movie is absolutely hilarious. The theater that I normally go to, um, you've actually seen a film in one of their
Mm-hmm.
theaters. We saw, was it Spider Verse? Um,
Yeah.
and so I mean, it's a big chain, like at least in Michigan. You know, it's not like AMC, but it's also not, you know, one one theater. You know, so it's a decent sized chain, and so big theater, big screens, big theaters, um, and that stuff. The theater that I saw this in Massachusetts was literally in a strip mall, and it had recliners. Now, granted, you didn't need to recline because it put you so far back in the seat, and like your, it was already elevated in the front. So like you sat down, and I shit you not, you could have folded me in half fairly easily because I was halfway there just from sitting in this chair. And the screen might have been um, 18 by 9,
Okay.
maybe 20 by 9. Not very big. And but just big enough, right? Like it wasn't it wasn't small enough to the point where I was thinking, oh, they could have just gotten a big TV.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it also wasn't filling up the front wall. So, you know, it was an experience. To
Which,
say the
like, it's
least.
funny because that sounds like a second run movie theater, and I know it isn't.
Oh no, the second run movie theaters that I've been to are way bigger than this was.
Yeah, like that. Okay, so a third run, then I apologize.
Yeah.
You know, that's hard. I
Like
am very
I'll put it this way,
curious.
right? Like the screen size was only adequate for 3, maybe 4 rows of seats,
Mhm.
and I think there were 6 or 7.
Okay.
So it's, you know,
So,
I assume you saw this in
Uh,
an AMC.
yeah, I saw it in the AMC we saw him in what do we see there? Wakanda there?
Oh, the one near your house.
That's the one I saw this at. So yeah, so I don't know what else there is to kind of say about this film. I do wanna say the thing that I kind of started before we started recording though is I do not believe this is a film that is per se made poorly. I just think it's a bad film. Like I think like it would need heavy rewriting. I don't think it's something that like the director when shooting could have fixed this film.
I mean, it's what's the nicest way to put this? This film is a above par Lifetime movie. It's just the problem with it is it had a theatrical run.
And like, hear me out. It's 2 in the morning. You're at a hotel. You turn on Lifetime. You see this film. It's the worst nights. When those like you know exactly the type of night I'm talking about. You just see whatever the fuck's on TV.
I mean, A
But
for Brady is the perfect movie for when you and I are in Atlanta for MomoCon and we're coming back from the city. You know the city. And like stumbling into the hotel room, we turn on the TV and we're like halfway through this movie. This film was perfect for that because nothing really happens. We already know what's going to happen.
what
And
we care about. Yeah.
we're going to be passed out before the movie's over anyway.
First off, we make it to the first commercial break, and we opened a beer on top of that. So there's a beer sitting on the nightstand that neither of us are drinking.
No, like one of us will have one that's like a third empty. One of us will have finished one and they're starting a second. And housekeeping will find us at 10:30 in the morning going, "Hey, you guys need to wake up. Checkout's in half an hour." So,
No, that one I could see, but
yeah, I mean we have seen worse films.
it's.
We've seen better films.
I think that's about accurate. Like the thing with this film is again, I don't. I wish they could. So the reason I think, 'cause I think I inherently like stuff like biopics more than you. A lot of times,
For me,
and
it's very specific on the topic.
the topic. Yeah, yeah. Where me, I think you could probably just blindly put a biopic in front of my face, just 'cause I like history enough. At least the inherent basis of it might intrigue me enough to start watching. Um, but and I'm very curious, right? Because again, I like this idea as a storytelling tool, right? Of having an event kind of in the background, and this is about someone else doing that event or part of that event in some capacity. And because like one of the in my trailer block, one of the ones that stood out to me kind of going into this was there's that Nike film coming out, the
Air, yeah.
yeah, and I think it's the same type of storytelling technique that I'm very intrigued by because like even in the trailer, they're not showing Michael Jordan, and I wouldn't be shocked if they really you don't get a full Michael Jordan in that film, but like in a weird way, the story of Nike is about the rise of Michael Jordan at the same time. So like I'm curious, kind of, if like a film like that, or there are other films come out that you think can use this storytelling technique, kind of that you think or have done it well.
I mean, I'll definitely go see Air because I am interested. Isn't the right word because I know the story back to front about Sonny Vaccaro, but
Hmm.
that is such a it's such an interesting story because of to put it briefly, right? Like Michael Jordan wasn't a known quantity. Like he was a
No,
decent
they
player in North
literally,
Carolina.
but Nike literally bet the house,
Oh
and
no,
goddamn, the house
they
game.
didn't just bet the house. They bet the farm. They bet the cows. They bet the roosters. They bet the shoes off their feet. They bet literally everything that this guy out of North Carolina that hadn't played an NBA game yet
And it
was going to
seemed
be
like,
able to
honestly,
have a brand.
is there in the history of companies backing players ever been a bigger bet that has paid off?
Uh, hmm. See, I can think of one, and that's Under Armour with Steph Curry.
Hmm.
Um, because Under Armour kind of bet the farm for that because they weren't really a thing. I mean, they were a thing, but Under Armour has been a dying breed since they came out,
Hmm.
um, and have had these small successes kind of push them over the top in certain situations. So,
But like, yeah, it's hard.
so that'll be a great film to watch. Air. Um, 80 for Brady is
Okay, I'm gonna
up.
pull up some past movie clubs, and
Okay,
I'm gonna keep going until this is how I'm gonna end the episode. I'm gonna tell you one and end it. We're gonna keep going until you can tell me that film is worse than this film.
okay. Are you just doing the revamped movie club? Because otherwise, I know we're not going to make it far if we include the old films.
I'm gonna do I'm just gonna do new films
Okay,
in it. Like it's still movie club, like all the movie club, it's just the new films.
okay.
I forgot this was a goddamn film. Do you know what our first movie club was?
Was that Blade Runner?
No. I'm gonna say a film to you you have not thought of since we saw it.
Try me.
White for Rick.
Oh, this is better than White Boy Rick.
I also did not say that was Jonathan Majors because we didn't know who the fuck he was at the time.
Yeah, that was not
Have
good.
you thought of that film since we saw it?
Yes,
Really?
yes. For a
'Cause
very specific reason, but if that reason hadn't been brought up, I would not have thought about that film.
that was too easy. We have to keep going then because we had bad times, which I think bad times is better than this by a mile.
Yeah, Bad Times at El Royale. I think people would look at it better now. You know, I
Now
think
you know what it is.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's one of those films that has a better image now than when it came out.
Hmm. Okay, next on the list, and I think this will be a close one. Widows.
Oh dear God, talk about a movie that I hadn't thought of. 80 for Brady is better than Widows.
Okay. So I have to go. I have to keep going on the list then. Fighting with my family.
That is on the same tier as 80 for Brady.
Which is a better film?
Uh, Probably 80 for Brady.
Okay. Next on the list. The best of enemies.
Dear God, what was
Hey, this is the same thing. The Sam Rockwell one where they're like in a school trying to fight about segregation.
Best of Enemies?
2019.
Uh, oh yes. That's tough.
Right?
I think well, okay. Because here's the debate I'm having with these two. Right, is 80 for Brady will not get better or worse for perpetuity. Right, it is the same quality. It will be the same quality. Nothing will change. A film like The Worst of Enemies or The Best of whatever it was. That film is part of a bigger thing, right? Like other films have come out that handle that better, right? Black Klansman, I believe, has come out since that film came out and handles that situation better. So I think if we're looking at when that movie came out and when 80 for Brady came out, I think Best of Enemies is better than 80 for Brady. Today, I think they're fairly even.
That is where we'll end it then. So, the best of enemies is a wow. You just want a film that I literally. So, White Boy Rick and the best enemies. I physically blacked out of my mind that they existed.
Yeah, Best of Enemies. You could have laid out the plot for that.
And you'd be like, I never saw it.
Yeah, I'd be like, cool, sounds interesting. I never saw it. Meanwhile, you're like, no,
No,
you guys did an episode on this. I'm like,
like no, we didn't.
no, we didn't.
Yeah, that will do it for us here at Movie Club. The movie this month was 80 for Brady. I think both me and AJ will agree you'll have at least an 80% better time at most other films out currently.
And I mean, the one saving grace, right, is Sally Field's character changing her jersey to say 70 for Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Like, okay, that's at least funny. Other than that, oh, and the um Jane Fonda's, like, her books, like her erotic fiction books with Gronk.
Mm.
That part kind of saved the day for me, at least in terms of like the comedic effect. Because I know Gronk is hilarious as a person.
Mm.
And for him to be just fully on board, first off, makes total sense. And secondly, just added this fun little, like, they've got, what, Danny Amendola and Julian Edelman, like, just kind of there.
Mm-hmm.
And Gronk to be the nice comedic, comedic breakup of that is fun. So
Fair enough. Again, guys, thank you for joining us for this month for Movie Club. We'll be back on the next episode with the new SWO show. We got a bunch of news to discuss. We got some trailers to discuss. And yeah, I think that will do it for us. AJ, I gotta ask, what are you watching this week as we close out?
As we're recording this, I'm about 20 minutes from firing up The Last of Us.
AJ will know if Joel lives in about 20 minutes. Wow.
About an hour
Perfect.
and 20 minutes.
Well, thank you again,
we
folks.
know the answer. So, see everyone in the next episode.
Goodbye. The SWO show and all of its affiliate podcasts are podcast by me, Mike Maroney, and AJ Losi, sometimes by contributors, including Corey King. You can follow the SWW Show on social media at the SWW Show, or sooner or later you go to patreon.com/SWW to help us out. Thank you. We hope you enjoy the rest of your day.